melody of different instruments, a new style of an ancient music composition. The sound of the steppe is eternity, and the history will never end. Watch the program Sounds of the Great Steppe on Kazakh TV.
Kүй деген сөз адамның белгілі бір жағдайдағы.
The cue is a feeling of man and what he feels at one moment. Through cue compositions, musicians express their mood and feelings to the listeners. For example, if we will talk about the Sarjai Lao cue composition, there are all humans' character in one compositions as thoughts, dreams, attitudes to the world are described in the cue composition. The cue composition depends on the composer's thoughts. As we know, cue compositions were developed over several centuries and achieved its own significance in the 19th century. In the time of golden centuries, we say our great composers, Kurmangazi and Tatimbet, raised cue compositions to a high level.
Осы үлкен композиторларымыз биік деңгейге көтерді күйді.
Abdi Jibek Joly is a well-known composer of the Arka location. He is a follower of the Arka cue school, which was developed by Tatimbet Kazakh Joly. Abdi has two talents. One talent, he is a composer, and another talent, he is a cue player. Owing to Abdi, a lot of cue compositions of Tatimbet came to us. There are some cue compositions which were left by Abdi. One of them is the Suffering cue composition. It was titled Suffering as the composition is sad and full of distress. Abdi was arrested in his time as an enemy of the nation. He was taken to prison and received an order to be gunned. In that moment, Abdi asked one request. His words were, "I have one wish." "What wish do you have?" he was asked. His reply was, "I have a brother, Abiken, and I would like to see him once." When Abiken came only one time, and Abdi played this composition for him, as he learned from him. Some melodies he couldn't hear and asked Abdi to play again. Then Abdi played twice this Suffering cue composition, and it was kept since that time. The cue composition Kos Basar was played in the Arka region widely, especially the 62 Kos Basar composition. We can say it separated the genre of cue compositions. Our music researchers are discussing it. For example, the word Kos Basar has meaning of intricate, as singing this world and another world. Constantly in cue compositions, the theme of good and bad are widely played, happiness and sadness. Everything which is happening around can be played and heard from the cue compositions of Kos Basar, as the genre which awakens a listener's 62 vessels in those genre of composition. The first musician who played this cue composition was Tatimbet, and he produced it as well. And another version of this composition has been found in Bayan Olgay Place.
Әбікен Қасеновтің жалпы соңында қалған жалғыз күй қоңыр деп аталады. Әбікен атақты байдың тұқымынан шыққан.
Abiken Khasenov's one and single key composition is Brown. He was from a wealthy family. When he was young, he sung and traveled and had an interesting life. Abiken was a good man. In 1928, people had difficult times. There was forfeiture. There was a time of famine in 1928. And this year, all the members of his family died from hunger and camp fever. He lost his family and children. In that moment, he suffered persecution. The reason was playing his dombra and cue compositions. Then he came from Arka to Almaty. He described in his Brown composition his life, what he had seen in the story that was going around him.
Сол кезде арып аршып сонау мынау арқа жерінен осы Алматыға келеді екен. Сонда жаңа Әбікеннің қоңыр күйі сол жаңағы өмірінде өткен, өзінен басынан өткен осы оқиғаны бейнелейді. Ал енді Тәттімбеттің жалпы күйлерінің ішіндегі ең шыңы Саржайлау деп аталады. Себебі Саржайлау бұл Тәттімбет өзі көп жасаған.
One of the great cue compositions of Tatimbet is Sarjailau cue composition. As he did not love for a long time, he died when he was 45, but he left an unforgettable heritage of cue compositions. There are some informations as Tatimbet's cue composition Sarjailau was written in the last period of his life. When Tatimbet went to the Omsk city to the doctors, they told him that he ached, and he had a doctor's diagnosis. Currently, the name of that disease is tuberculosis. The medicine could not help him. He felt as if he was going to die. Even the doctors hid, but he knew.
Сонда ауылына келгенде майда сары деген жайлау бар екен дейді. Сол жайлауға қарап отырып, жалпы Саржайлау күйін шығарған. Бір Саржайлауда тек қана бұл табиғаттың ғана айналасында табиғат.
When he came to his village, there was a small yellow summer pasture. He wrote his Sarjailau composition there. The composition was not written for nature. There is a deep philosophical meaning in the composition. All Kazakh life in the Kazakh steppe is in this composition. The cue compositions consist of two melodies. The melody of the composition brought it to three structures. As the beginning of the cue and the middle of the composition are developed in a different way. And at the end of the composition, it achieved a previous melody. Then it achieved three structures. In Tatimbet's composition of Sarjailau, which was written before his death, we have two versions of it. One is Abiken Khasenov's, and the second is Magaouya Khamzin's. The version of Magaouya Khamzin has advantages of describing nature in the composition. while Abugazy is full of philosophy and thoughts.
Біреуі Әбікен Қасеновтың, біреуі Мағауия Хамзин. Бірақ Мағауия Хамзиннің нұсқасында көбінесе мына табиғатты суреттеу, табиғатқа еліктеу жағы басымырақ та, ал Әбікеннің нұсқасында ой тереңдігі дейді ғой, философия жағы басым.
Murat Abugazy is a well-known kyui player and researcher of Kazakh kyui compositions. He's a great musician of playing steppe and tokpe kyui compositions. He is an author of several methodological books. His works and notes of books as Kurmangazi, Tatimbet and Arka kyui compositions. Sugir is Karatal steppe composition. Songs of Sariarka, East compositions. He highly mastered traditional playing of the dombra and nowadays is playing art. Turkic people kept the dombra instrument, and Kazakh people achieved the result of the instrument. This instrument was developed in our country. Different school composers put their efforts on developing this kyui composition. Owing to them, our art increased widely. Sometimes people have different moods. If a man inspires and he will be in a good mood, then he will be in this good condition. If a composer will play a sad composition, his mood will be in discouragement. For example, we talk about a kyui player. A man who plays kyui compositions is a kyui player, a simple person and not able to play kyui compositions. To play Tatimbet's Sarjailao kyui composition, you have to be in his condition and feel the music. Only in this way you can present kyui compositions to the listeners. You'll not be able to feel the composition and present music for people. For example, how did Sugir write his composition Kos Basar, and how was his condition at that moment? And nowadays a player should express Sugir's condition. A kyui player of Sugir's composition should know the feeling of his condition. And Kurmangazy's Sariarka as well. How did Kurmangazy play his Sariarka composition? A kyui player should be in the condition which belonged to the owners of the kyui composition.
Сол арқалы күйді жеткізу үшін орындаушы да сондай деңгейде болу керек.